Everybody complains about the lack of civility on both sides. You see it in sports, you see it in politics. I think we have the answer. Take a look.
The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally.
Are you tired of people saying what's on their mind?
Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Everyone's got an opinion, and they're all compelled to share it with others. Well, those annoying comments can go away with this duct tape. Just a few inches of this gray, sticky fabric solves it all. Duct tape, the all-American solution to everything.
Because Osama bin Laden now releasing tapes blaming the United States for global warming, I think he's running out of ideas. Huh? That's the best you can do. Even the United States blames the United States for global warming. I think he wants to quit Al-Qaeda and join Al Gore, basically, I think. And as you know, President Obama has been promoting alternative energy. Texas State University has now developed exercise equipment that operates electricity when you exercise. See, they hope that one day people will be able to generate enough power from their home by exercising. Huh? Well, you thought Americans were hiring a lot of illegal aliens before, huh? Manuel, keep pedaling. And last month, you mentioned President Obama threw out the first pitch at the Washington Nationals game against the Philadelphia Phillies. But they didn't tell you that Biden got kicked out for cursing at the umpire. You didn't bring that up, Mr. President. Did you see the pitch? It was not a good pitch, no. But to be fair, he had just come for an interview on MSNBC, and I think you were used to softball. So I think that's probably what. Oh, I'm going to get fired again. Well, I tell you something. A lot of critics felt that President Bush did a better job of getting the ball over the plate. That's what they said. But on the other hand, President Obama can talk. So I think it balances. And as you know, President Obama and the First Lady very much committed to education. In fact, here is their latest program.
President Barack Obama says that a good education is everything to a child's future. But what do you do with a child that can't learn? Or worse, a child that won't learn? Well, thanks to a bold new government program, you can trade them in! It's Cash for Flunkers. Bring in that simpleton you call your son and get up to $4,500 toward the purchase of a new or select used child. That's right, up to $4,500 for that wannabe gangster. Or that morbid goth punk. So don't be stuck with that disobedient tramp you gave birth to. Get a kid you can be proud of. Get Cash for Flunkers today. All children taken as trade-ins will be outsourced to sweatshops in Malaysia.
I read that book Game Change about the 2008 election. You know what I learned from that book? That if reporters hold back all the good stories from the newspapers, they can get really rich. And nice to see Chris Matthews. Chris is here. Chris, where are you? Chris has been on the Tonight Show a number of times. Always a great guest. He comes out, sits down, talks straight through for 10 minutes. Then I ask him a question. And he talks for another 20 minutes. Let's talk about the press for a minute. I want you to watch how different networks cover the same story. Now, remember that story a while back about President Obama? Somebody had a jacket and they had a big poster in Times Square, and of course the president not supposed to be endorsing. Well, here's how CBS covered it. Take a look.
And President Obama no longer has a commanding presence in another New York location. Remember this huge billboard with his likeness? It was removed yesterday from Times Square. Mr. Obama's picture is not supposed to be used for commercial purposes.
Okay, now, look how Fox News carried the exact same story. Okay. Timing is everything in comedy. Okay. But to be fair, it is a two-way street, and I think the White House likes to play games with Fox News. Now, I'm going to show you some tape. Now, this tape has not been altered in any way. We didn't change anything, do anything. I'm going to show you some reporters outside the White House. Now, notice how quiet it is when the MSNBC reporter is reporting, and then watch what happens with Fox. Again, we haven't changed it in any way. Take a look.
Having a runoff election does make a couple of problems go away.
Press briefing by Secretary Robert Gibbs. Defense of
an emergence of this side of the party isn't necessarily a good thing, and John Boehner said...
call made in the past few minutes, and it involved more than just congratulations.
It's a special congressional race, upstate New York. Republicans have held it since the 19th.
It may be the kind of sausage making you don't want to look too closely at, but
coincidence? You be the judge. Then you mentioned the situation in the Gulf of Mexico. There's talk now that this oil slick could end up being bigger than that huge disaster they had up in Alaska. Really? Bigger than Sarah Palin? That is unbelievable. And Wolf Blitzer is here. I saw him before. There you are. Hello, Wolf. Doesn't that sound like the name of Sarah Palin's hunting helicopter? The Wolf Blitzer? Doesn't that seem like that? Wolf, the answer is stay off Celebrity Jeopardy. That is the answer. There you go. Well, you know, the big rumor is Sarah Palin may run for president in 2012. And as you know, she is a former beauty queen. If she wins, it would make history because it would mark the first time a beauty queen could actually bring about world peace. They've all talked about it. But she could make it happen. Do you see her campaign last month with John McCain? I like to call them Beauty and the Deceased. Isn't that what it looked like? Yeah. And my favorite Democrat of the past year, Senator John Edwards. Wow, a personal injury attorney who turned out to be a sleazeball. Who could have seen that coming? I was stunned by that revelation. Well, now there's talk of a John Edwards sex tape. Ooh, huh? There's something people have never seen before. A lawyer screwing people. Wow. Ooh, how unusual is that? And, of course, the first lady of television, Betty White, is here. Where's Betty White? We love Betty White. Hi, sweetheart. Betty has a long history in this town. As you know, her first stage performance here was interrupted by John Wilkes Booth, and that was a sad day, but... You know, the last time I was here was 2004, and at that time, back then, Hillary Clinton's campaign had $20 million in it. Now, of course, Mark Penn has it, but hey, that's just something else. Little inside baseball. Yeah. Oh, the rich guys get it, yeah. Well, you know, Newsweek is reporting that Hillary Clinton has been talking to friends about stepping down as Secretary of State, but... you know, I think I picked up a clue in a recent interview of what she plans to do. It's a little subtle, but take a look.
Never is a long time, so I want to ask you again. You're never going to run for president again?
I have absolutely no interest in running for president. None. I mean, I know that's hard for some people to believe, but I just...
And Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell is here. Bob, where are you? Where is he there? Yeah, I heard him say... When he heard the president was going to be here, he said, what, Jefferson Davis is coming? I couldn't believe it. Who's a tough room? All right. My good friend Joy Behar from The View. Where's Joy? Joy is here. You know, I give the ladies of The View a lot of credit. I've seen President Obama in tough negotiations with the Russians. I've seen him get in a showdown with Kim Jong-il. I see him get tough on the president of Iran. What's his name? Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Is that how you say it, Mr. President? Ahmadinejad. But the only time I've ever seen him look nervous and fidgety is on The View. Now, we have not altered this tape in any way, but count how many times he fidgets here. Take a look.
You're used to all this.
I am surrounded by women.
So we're no surprise.
I am surrounded by women. Well, no, you guys always surprise me. You always surprise me. You always have something.
Well, I just want to say that over the weekend, I reread Dreams from My Father.
All right, let's wind this baby up. My favorite moment of the past year, though, was seeing all 5 living presidents together in the Oval Office. And then something spontaneous happened.